And the Bruins have done it. They win their first ever national championship in baseball and 9 overall. A tour de force. One to Dixon. Wind inside the back, fair down the line. Arizona will take the lead on a stand-up double, and for the first time since 1986 is the national champion. Well, that was last year when Arizona took down the title, and another season at TD Ameritrade, another title for the Pac-12, this time the UCLA Bruins. A party going on in Westwood as we speak. Well, one in Omaha as we speak. The dog pile just happened over on ESPN just moments ago as UCLA, your 2013 Division I NCAA baseball champions. Hello and welcome to our postgame show. Matt Schick along with former Arizona State assistant coach Mike Rooney. Well, it maybe necessarily wasn't a work of art by UCLA, but they played their game and they played it to a T in Omaha. Mike, what do you make of what UCLA was able to do not only in this series, in the entire series, but tonight specifically?
Well, they stuck to their guns. You know, that little game, that offensive execution. John Cohen of Mississippi State played his card. He threw Luis Polarena to try and defeat the bunting of UCLA. They stuck to it, and they just little gamed it to death. And you got to love that West Coast offense of UCLA, perfect for TD Ameritrade Park.
And you look at them in the bottom of the first, and that's where it started. A hit by pitch, and that's what UCLA wants to have happen. They wait for you to make mistakes, whether it's defensively or offensively, and they capitalize.
Yeah, and then, you know, you knew Polarena was in there to defend bunting, and they bunted right at him and really just challenged that decision. So you start with a hit by pitch, then you've got the sac bunt. This is a safety squeeze with your 3-hole hitter. So the unselfishness, it's just no ego baseball.
And with that type of sac bunt or safety squeeze, you knew if you're Mississippi State, you know it's coming, and they still beat you with it. Unbelievable. That's the celebration going on right now in Omaha at TD Ameritrade Park as UCLA hoisting the hardware there in the outfield, in the infield grass there with a capacity crowd. A lot of Mississippi State fans out there at TD Ameritrade Park kind of made it their home the last couple of days, but they will go home back to Starkville, or Stark Vegas, as you like to call it, a little disappointed. What more can you say about UCLA? We'll get back out there momentarily for more post-game coverage, but the way the Bruins team is constructed and the way John Savage constructed and built this program, you have to tip your cap to what he did and how they performed here in Omaha.
No doubt about it. And I think for Mississippi State, we'd be remiss to say the Mississippi State fan base, unbelievable job, the way they came out, 6 chartered planes to come out for the finals. Just a great year for Mississippi State. But what UCLA is doing, in my opinion, is what Skip Bertman did with LSU, where we were using -5 bats, Rosenblatt, the winds howled out, and really created that gorilla ball to win national titles. He built a team to win in Omaha. Now John Savage at UCLA is doing the same thing. That small ball approach, pitching and defense, pitch with your fastball, really build a program that can win in Omaha.
And it started with that pitching, with Plutko, with Vandertag tonight, and they had their starting pitching set up from the get-go with how they performed before this championship series in Omaha. Much better than the last time they were in the championship series back in 2010.
it's so impressive. They pitch fearlessly with the fastball. Hunter Renfroe, the Mississippi State first-round pick of the Padres, and Vandertag and Plucko are both going fastball right at him. And so just to see young guys pitch with their fastball like that, and then you go to the closer Berg, the submariner throwing in the low to mid-80s, it's just, again, their program perfectly constructed to win in the College World Series, to win in this new ballpark.
And UCLA entered this game hitting a .183, 183 in this College World Series. The opposition was hitting 181. They went 12 for 30 tonight, so they do exceed the 220 mark. They hit 226 in the College World Series. What does that say about UCLA? The fact that they didn't need the bats, they didn't have to hit for average in order to take home a championship.
Numbers are deceiving. That's good offense.
All right, Mike Patrick, Oral Hershiser, Kyle Peterson. We're on the call over on ESPN. Let's send it back out to TD Ameritrade Park for more, fellas.
Well, thank you, sir. It was, without a doubt, one of the most dominant performances we have ever seen here. UCLA dominated everybody in virtually every department, and they win it without losing a ball game since the regional, super regional, and the College World Series. Got to tip your cap to the Bruins, and the monkeys off their back. They win their first ever national baseball championship. They did it in style.
Well, and we talked about it since they showed up. It's a team that's comfortable with who they are, and they're a team that pitches, they're a team that defends, they're a team that moves guys around when they have to, and they've been able to get the big hit for the last 2 weeks. And if you're going to play that type of style, you do have to swing it at times, but still, they held true to who they were from the time they started the postseason to the time they showed up here. And not a lot can when they get here to this ballpark, but credit John Savage, the way he had his guys prepared, because it just kept rolling.
You know, and everything that we talked about, that the offense wouldn't be there, the offense is not there. They're going to have to pitch. They're going to have to play perfect. They got 12 hits tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bats came out and they played, and it was awesome to watch.
Well, let's get down to the field. Jessica Mendoza has the winning coach, John Savage.
Well, Coach, you have had some talented teams here in the past, but there was something special about this team that goes far beyond talent. What was it?
Dedication. You know, they worked extremely hard all season, and they believed in each other, and that's what great teams do. And we got to congratulate a great Mississippi State team. They had a great year, and it was one of those situations where it was our time, I think. I mean, Nick threw the ball extremely well for 8 innings and kept him off balance, and then Bergie did his job.
Well, Coach, 109 national championships for UCLA, but what does it mean to be the first for UCLA baseball? Well,
it means everything. This is for all the Bruins, you know, all the Bruin baseball players, Coach Adams, Coach Reichel, all the guys that were here before I was and set the tone. And I'm just so proud of the program and our coaches and players and everybody involved. It's a family, and we did it together.
There's been so much talk this postseason about your offense, but tonight, 12 hits, 8 runs. What allowed them to explode tonight?
You know, we've been capable all season long. We have good players. I said that all along. They just started believing, and they started using the whole field. And fortunately, you know, we had some hits tonight.
Well, speaking of one of those players, Kaylee Hartung right now with Eric Falia.
Thank you, Jess. 5 RBIs for you tonight, Eric. Coach Savage has said the bigger the moment, the better you are. How do you explain that?
I mean, I thrive for this, absolutely. I mean, with all the fan support that we have, I mean, it's small, but it's our family, our friends, and I mean, our girlfriends are here, and I mean, we couldn't do it without such a great team, and I mean, with the whole UCLA, I mean, I'm lost in words right now.
As Coach and Jess just discussed, the offensive strategy of this team has been unique, but 12 hits tonight. How do you explain the offensive explosion we saw tonight?
I mean, we just stayed with our approach. I mean, we just stayed small and barreled balls up. I mean, they have great pitching. Mississippi State's one of the greatest bullpens and starting pitchers out here. I mean, they're in the College World Series for a reason. And I mean, we just did a great job battling and came out with the W.
When you think of this ride from Cal Fullerton to coming to Omaha, LSU, NC State, UNC, Mississippi State, what emotions hit you when you think of the ride?
I mean, we beat some of the top teams in the country. I mean, with the whole team, we just stayed with everything, and we have great heart with everybody and our coaches, and we have trust in every single one of us. And we couldn't do it without everybody here supporting us.
And one guy you all have a lot of trust in, Adam Plutko, is with Jess Mendoza now.
All right, Adam, so much emotion this postseason with the draft, with everything that you have gone through. Describe to me the emotion you're feeling right now.
I can't. I mean, it just feels so good right now, but I got to give props to Mississippi State. They battled us the whole entire way. They never went away, and wow, what a competitor they were.
You've been roommates with Nick Vandertag for 3 years. Tell me about watching him and his performance tonight.
The two of us have grown up a lot together, so what he did tonight, I have no words. I knew that was in him the whole time, and I'm just so happy for him. I'm just so happy for all of us, and I'm just really excited.
We've talked so much about the 108 national championships before this. One of them, your girlfriend, Allison Taylor, with the 2010 gymnastics championship. She's held that ring over your head. How does it feel to match her?
It feels good, you know. I'm just excited to bring another one back to Westwood. So, yeah, that's it.
Well, Kaylee Hartung right now with Nick Vandertag. Thank you.
Thanks, Jess. Nick, a dominant performance by this pitching staff. You with 8 innings tonight, 5 hits, and no runs allowed. How do you describe what makes this pitching staff so hard to hit?
We have a lot of heart, and I mean, all of us have each other's backs, and I mean, I couldn't be more proud of this team, and it's an unreal feeling.
We got to see you on the mound tonight. We just heard your friend Adam Plutko talk about you. How do you describe what it's been like to go through this experience with him?
It's been unreal. This whole team is so close, and we've gone through the whole entire year, and can't really explain how happy I am and be teammates with all these guys, so I'm going to miss them.
I'm sure the defense you've had behind you has given you some confidence. How do you describe what it's been like to have that crew back you up?
It's been like that all year. It's a great, I mean, I couldn't be more happy, and I'm really lost of words. Let me see. What was the question?
Your defense.
Oh, yeah. How could I forget about them? Well, they've been great all year, like I said, and Kramer and Pat and the whole entire infield and Brian tracking balls and center. It's been great, and really can't explain how good they are. So.
Take all of the lack of words you've got and go celebrate. Thank you, Nick. Back to you, Mike.
Congratulations to UCLA and Mississippi State. Hope you enjoyed our coverage from Omaha. Now we leave you with the...
Hey, that's all right. If you don't remember the question, it means you're having a good time and you're elated, and they should be. And a lot of that has to do with the intangibles that UCLA brought to the table, not only just tonight but in the entire series. But look at this: tonight against Mississippi State, 12 hits, 4 sack bunts, 2 sack flies, a few hit by pitch to get on base, of course. They had some walks as well, and squeeze plays. We'll see one of those as well coming up in the highlights. But my goodness, this is UCLA, the recipe for success, and it was the recipe for a championship, Mike.
And I'd argue that it's harder to play a team that's doing that than a team hitting 300 where you know they're just going to grip it and rip it. That's hard to defend, and it's hard to pitch against.
So let's show you some of these important highlights from this one as UCLA taking on Mississippi State. Again, the Bruins trying to sweep State back to Starkville. Bottom 3, UCLA up 1-0, 1 out, runners on the corners, and there's Eric Falia with that aforementioned squeeze. That's UCLA baseball. It's 2-0.
Could have easily been the most outstanding player. 7 RBIs, had an incredible series.
Bottom 4, it's 3-0, so essentially the game is over. Cody Regis, RBI single, lone member remaining from that 2010 team. That made it 4-0. It was essentially all academic from there. UCLA wins it 8-0, and you look at lowest ERA to win a College World Series. In the College World Series, UCLA 4th best there, .80. Cal, of course, won the title. UCLA wins it. South Carolina did as well. But remember, the aluminum bat era began in 1974, which maybe adds a little more credence to what the Bruins were able to do. Adam Plutko, the most outstanding player, goes 2-0 in this College World Series. He was dominant, went 7 both times. Why was he so deserving of this?
Well, you're a Friday night guy, the guy that pitches game 1 in any series. That's a special breed of person, and Plutko did it. And just the emotion he dealt with this postseason. He thought he was going to go in the first 5 rounds in the draft. That's his dream, to play Major League Baseball. He goes in the 11th round, still beats Fullerton at Fullerton, the Super Regional, takes the ball twice in Omaha. And again, the way that kid pitches fearlessly with his fastball, and it's an 80-mile-an-hour fastball. And
he becomes the first pitcher to be named most outstanding player there in the College World Series since Jorge Reyes in Oregon State back in 2007 when Oregon State won their back-to-back titles there. It wasn't just he was so effective, but the placement. They had this strategy. John Savage, of course, not just the head coach, but also the pitching coach. They said, look, we're going to make these guys hit this fastball, or at least they're going to be appetized to see it, and they did, and they paid for it.
Well, and Plucko's the guy that it's fastball up, and it's 88. It's not 98. And there's a lot of risk in that pitch. If you miss down, you're in somebody's wheelhouse. If you miss up, you're in a ball. It's a ball, and you get in a bad count. And this kid he executed that plan fearlessly so that the rest of the pitching staff can say, you know what Coach Savage is teaching us works. And again, you got to give John Savage so much credit. The way he's constructed this program to be perfect to win in Omaha.
Mississippi State, look, the offense was going to be the key. It had to be the key in order for the Bulldogs to take this championship. They were hitting .297 heading into the championship series, and it just wasn't there in this championship series. There you see Adam Frazier, the table setter. There was no tablecloth on that table because of Frazier. It was 1 for 8 in this championship series. Renfroe 0 for 7. When Ray and Renfroe are going to combine 0 for 13, you're not going to win any games, and they didn't.
And Renfroe and Ray, the ballpark really hurt them. Frazier just a slump at the wrong time.
What was their biggest problem here? I mean, yes, it was the pitching for UCLA obviously plays a huge key, but what else played into that for the Mississippi State troubles?
Well, I think UCLA has a style that frustrates you. You think to yourself, how is a guy throwing 86, 87, beating us with his fastball? How are these hitters hitting 250, scoring runs, and having to worry about the bunting game? And I think at times UCLA just frustrated Mississippi State, and by the end of Game 2, Mississippi State had completely lost their offensive identity.
And it seemed like their identity, they were going to stick with it. We're going to try and maybe swing for the fences isn't the right phrase, but Oral Hershiser pointed out this was a team that, hey, we're going to swing hard, we're going to try to hit it out or at least hit it deep. Did you see them change their philosophy at all or change their hitting approach at all? Did that come back to bite them?
Well, it did, and part of that's Adam Plucko. You got to give Plucko credit. Any hitter, when you're facing fastball up, it's very difficult to keep that out of the air. But I think what happened, and Coach Cohen alluded to it, the more frustrated they got, the further they got away from their offensive identity, and that's where you saw guys like Ray and Renfroe trying to challenge TD Ameritrade, and we know TD Ameritrade is undefeated.
It certainly is. Yeah, this is ballpark is a daunting task for hitters, certainly playing into their minds when they step up to play. And you heard guys, all our analysts throughout this College World Series in Omaha say this is a very difficult ballpark, and the stats did not lie. The ball don't lie when it comes to that. You heard Hershiser tonight say it may be the toughest ballpark that he's ever seen, major league or minor league or college. What do you make of that and how TD Ameritrade Park impacted this entire series?
You know, it's worth discussing change to TD Ameritrade, but I don't want it to take away from what John Savage does. All 300 Division I coaches and programs know what TD Ameritrade is. There's no secret there. John Savage just did a better job coaching his program, and his kids did a better job buying into what you need to do to win a national title at TD Ameritrade. So I think it's going to be discussed in the future, but you got to give John Savage credit. The UCLA kids, they just bought into what you need to do to win at TD Ameritrade.
He built the program to win there, to win during the season, and then win once he got to Omaha, and it certainly did not disappoint. As Mike Patrick said, one of the most dominating performances you will see from a College World Series champ there in the Big O of Nebraska. Speaking of which, there you see the final out, the celebration from UCLA. We will hear more from them and Mississippi State as well as our post-game coverage continues. The Bruins, champs of 2013.
College World Series Postgame Show. Brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
The college baseball season is over thanks to what UCLA did to Mississippi State tonight. Game 2 of the championship series. UCLA relaxed, happy, smiling. There's Luis Poyarena getting the start. Bo Pelini not playing tonight, head coach of the Nebraska football team. You know he's a fan of good defense. Not a fan of this play then. Here's Poyarena bobbling the ball after a hit by pitch. Wes Ray unable to handle it. 2 errors on the play, and there we go. First inning, runners on the corners, no out, and the next batter's Eric Falia, sac fly. There's Bruin baseball for you.
Yeah, and Falia was in RBI situations both games in just perfect UCLA offense.
Poyarena just went 1 inning, so as we're in the 3rd, he's not on the mound. Eric Falia after a walk and a single. Eric Falia, the sack squeeze there, safety squeeze, scoring a run. You can see that coming from a mile away. It's 2-0. And the next batter, Pat Valleca. RBI double and 3-0, and the game seemingly out of reach here.
Yeah, with UCLA's pitching, 3-0 feels like 100-0. And Valleca not only played great shortstop, but had 2 clutch hits in the series.
No team in this year's College World Series had overcome a 3-run deficit, and it wouldn't happen here. Wes Ray gets all of this one, which means it almost goes to the warning track. With 2 on and 1 out. It's Brenton Allen with the catch. What are you going to do?
Fool's errand to challenge TD Ameritrade.
Next batter, Nick Vandertyke at CT Bradford to fly out to end the inning. 3-0 after 4th threat over. Game nearly over. Bottom 4. It's the way they do it. After a hit by pitch and a sack bunt, Cody Regis. Dribbler up the middle, that'll do.
So opportunistic, and that's how they frustrate you. No line drives, just runs.
So it's 4-0. Head to the 5th. Another jam for UCLA. How do you get out of a jam with 2 on, 2 out? Well, this, Kevin Kramer, flip to second, little backhander. It's 1 out, and then runners on the corners. Adam Frazier, again, 1 for 8 in the championship series. He strikes out, then Alex Detz, next batter. Swing better. He's out.
And disheartening with UCLA, they pitch and play defense. You know you're going to get no freebies. You're going to have to earn every single thing you get off.
Just so deflating for the Bulldogs at that point. It's 5-0 after 5, bottom 6. They do it again, pouring it on. Eric Falia again, RBI single. UCLA up 6-0. That one, a 2-out hit, and then bottom 8, bases loaded, 1 out. Falia fishing for more, 2-run single, 5 ribbies in the game.
And Falia is just a pure hitter. It's gap to gap. No, just can smell those RBIs. Just really a pure hitter.
And then the last out of this one, just delaying the inevitable. 0-2, 2 outs. And there's Gallagher to Berg. Berg, another appearance. What does he have, 220 on the season? That rubber arm.
Infinite appearances.
And there it is. 8-0 your final, and UCLA, the dog pile that they've been waiting for. Remember, left with that bitter taste in their mouth with that 0-2 sweep to South Carolina back in 2010. This time they deliver a 2-0 sweep to the SEC this time. 8-0. They pound out 12 hits in this one. Got to give their offense a little bit of credit.
Yeah, and that's the little game leads to more hits. That you just frustrate the defense, you frustrate those pitchers with the bunting game and the hit by pitch, the 2-strike approach, and then inevitably it explodes.
And you remember Falia, he was 1 for 9 before the championship series in the College World Series. 2 for 3 yesterday, 2 for 3 tonight. 7 RBI in the championship series. Remarkable.
And again, they faced tremendous pitching. He was huge in the Fullerton Super Regional against Garza and Eshelman. This kid stepped up enormous for UCLA in the postseason.
UCLA becomes the 3rd team to go 10-0 in the postseason and the 3rd consecutive team to do that as a champion. And look at this, it's still tilted a little bit, even more so. 109 championships among all sports for the UCLA Bruins, but they're first in baseball. Mississippi State still trying to get off that schneid with 0 championships, 0, of course, in baseball. They were looking for their first. UCLA, of course, getting the championship tonight, their first. John Savage. Boy, he talks about how when he was an assistant with USC, he learned a lot about constructing a team. How do you think that benefited him when he moved to Westwood?
Well, there's no doubt about it. John Savage was the pitching coach in 1998 with Mike Gillespie when USC won that title game. And think about that. John Savage won a national title as an assistant in a 21-14 game. But even then, USC was doing the little things. They would bunt. They'd hit home runs like everybody else did. But I think John Savage really cut his teeth in a great program with a great mentor in Mike Gillespie. And we saw it. I really believe this is similar to what Skip Bertman did to take advantage of that era with Gorilla Ball. And Savage, as good as any coach in the country, has built a program to win in the BB Core era.
Yeah, the BB Core era certainly benefiting UCLA. TD Ameritrade Park did as well. And speaking of offense in this College World Series, yeah, 3 home runs. 3 home runs in this College World Series. That was more than, well, you had to play more than 4 games to get a home run in this one. And runs per game, the fewest runs per game in the history of the College World Series. 6.1, by far the fewest. And talk throughout this whole thing about the ballpark, about the game. It's the last day of the college baseball season, so we might as well hammer this home. The lack of offense in Omaha was most attributed to what?
Well, I think there's 3 factors. You know, the BB Core bats have made a big impact, and offense is down in college baseball, period. TD Ameritrade is a big factor. That's a very difficult park to hit in, and those 2 factors decreased confidence in hitters and increased confidence in pitchers. But you got to remember recruiting. The coaches knew this was coming. 10 years ago, you wanted 9 guys in your lineup that you thought could hit a home run. Now, you might think about having 1 or 2. You want guys that can run and defend and bunt and hit and run. And that's Mississippi State as well. They had a lot of smaller guys that could execute. That's why they got here. So it's, you know, it's the park, it's confidence, recruiting's played a huge factor in this turnover.
And I agree with that. I would also say I don't think coaches saw this coming, where a ball that is crushed to left field doesn't even make it to the warning track. I think the biggest problem people had with this whole series was that pitchers were not punished for mistakes and hitters were not rewarded for big hits. Do you think that needs to change moving forward here at TD Ameritrade?
I think that change is worth discussing, but my caution is this. College baseball, we are known for enormous adjustments. We went from 21-14 and home run derby to now we've got this. And so, you know, I'm in favor of looking at changing the baseball. But I want a small tweak. Remember, of the 14 games played in Omaha this year, 10 of them went basically down to the last inning. So we only had 4 blowouts. There was plenty of drama. The popularity of sports at an all-time high, the ratings, what ESPN's doing. So again, I'm looking for a minor tweak, not a major overhaul.
And they also had 4 shutouts in the College World Series. The first time since 1973 that has happened. Certainly great pitchers. And remember, the dimensions at TD Ameritrade Park are the exact same as they were at Rosenblatt Stadium. This isn't a larger ballpark, but the difference is you had home plate, which faces those southerly winds. It's right in the face of it. Things that you're talking about 25 feet at the very least being knocked off of baseballs there. You're not going to move home plate at TD Ameritrade Park, but those fences, you have to imagine something might be done about that moving forward. Eric Falia, a guy who didn't have any problems with the dimensions or the winds there at TD Ameritrade, was terrific in this College World Series. Why was he able to turn it on? He was great all year, actually.
No doubt. I mean, Falia is a kid that they had high hopes for. He had to pay his dues last year with UCLA's tremendous outfield. But this is the new BB Core era 3-hole hitter. You're talking about a kid that's 5'9", 5'10", 175 pounds, but can handle the bat, has baseball skills, not necessarily baseball tools. He can go foul pole to foul pole. You see the way he's constantly above the baseball. You're not going to get very many fly ball outs, and he just has a feel for the game and the ability to clutch up. I'm telling you, the 2 RBIs he had last night against Chad Gerardo, who was dominating people, that was the difference in the series.
When you talk about a new era type of 3-hole hitter, what do you mean by that? I mean, the change of the bats means what for the construction of a lineup, specifically that 3 spot?
Well, you know, again, 5 to 10 years ago, you're looking for a 3-hole hitter that was 6'3", 200 pounds, and could basically hit a home run from right field to left field. Now, the home run is so downplayed, I want a 3-hole hitter that can bunt, that can hit and run, that can 2-strike approach, because you may need to be able to win games 1-0, 2-1. That's the new era.
Well, and this era tonight ended with an 8-0 win for UCLA. We're still waiting on those news conferences. As soon as they happen, we will bring them for you here in our post-game coverage here on ESPNU. Well, tonight's starter for UCLA, Nick Vandertuig, certainly had big shoes to fill, or a tough act to follow, I should say, with Adam Plutko's performance in Game 1, and he certainly did not disappoint. It was almost a mirror image of what Plutko was able to do in Game 1.
Well, and it's just a residual of of the UCLA pitching program. I mean, these guys as freshmen learned from Garrett Cole, who's now in the big leagues, Trevor Bauer, who's already been in the big leagues. He's a little bit more breaking stuff than Plutko, as you can see, but attacked with the fastball, commanded fastball up. You see tremendous command of his breaking ball, and that changeup was a big pitch early in the game. So Plutko and Vandertide kind of took the baton from Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer and just one-upped them.
And remember, Grant Watson had a terrific performance as well. And the last time out, before they got to the championship series, he was going to be available, of course, for tomorrow. So UCLA not too concerned about that. Remember, in that super regional, they outdueled Garza and Eshelman, two of the best pitchers, two of the best young pitchers in the country. So this was certainly no fluke what we saw from them in TD Ameritrade Park.
No, I mean, let's be honest, UCLA went in the front door for this national title. They had to go on the road for a super regional to arguably the most difficult place in Fullerton. You could debate that. And then when they were here in Omaha, they had to beat Aaron Nolan of LSU. Then they play UNC. They play NC State, who is as talented as anybody. And then Mississippi State, to me, was the hottest program, the hottest offense coming in here. And so they absolutely went in the front door, and they stuck to their guns. Their formula works in Omaha, and they stuck to it.
The scores in this College World Series for UCLA, 2-1, 2-1, 4-1, 3-1. 8-0. That one's sort of an aberration there. Certainly earned every run they got in this one. But for UCLA, in this College World Series, did you see them change anything from what they did in the regular season to the regional, to the super regional, to here, or was it just laid out for them that they didn't have to change a thing once they got to Omaha?
Well, they didn't have to change a thing, and that's the advantage of being in a power conference for UCLA to go through the rigors of playing the Stanfords and the ASUs and the US. I mean, all the Arizona, the defending national title. You're tested, and you know who you are, and UCLA really knew that. I thought tonight the key moment was John Cohen purposely threw Luis Pallarena because he's great at fielding his position, and you wondered, is that going to affect John Savage in the way he manages the UCLA game? Would they back off the bunting game? And in the first inning, they went right to it. It was a great chess match, and they said, you know what, we're going to stick to our bunting game. And, you know, we saw the result.
You joked about it before, and it was kind of tongue-in-cheek, but then I think you regretted not saying it in our pregame show. First 1-1 wins this baseball game. That's what UCLA does. They score early, they make you squeeze the bat a little bit tighter, and they force you into mistakes, and that's what they did. Credit to John Savage and company, UCLA, your 2013 champs. We are waiting on the news conferences. That is not John Savage. That is not John Cohen. That is Bill Cousins of the NCAA. He is at the podium, and just like us, he's waiting for the coaches and players to appear. As soon as they do, we will bring the news conference to you right here on ESPN.
It's a great night for baseball here in Omaha. Fastball smoked down the right field line. And It's a great night for baseball here in Omaha. Fastball smoked down the right field line and caught at the wall. Falea. Holy cow, what a catch. On the ground, back to Byrne. It's over. UCLA has won the opening game of the College World Series Finals. Line fair down into the right field wall. And another run will score. And a runner at second for UCLA. It's 3-0. Chopper back up the middle and through into center field. And again, UCLA executes perfectly. And the Bruins have done it. They win their first ever national championship in baseball and number 109 overall.
Well, UCLA, your 2013 champs, and there we go. Something's brewing. Something is brewing out there in Westwood. Here are your last 5 champs, and you can see the disparity there in the batting average. Again, was there a more meaningless stat than UCLA's batting average in this College World Series?
Well, sabermetricians are going to have a field day because UCLA is built on base percentage and execution.
Look at that, 2009, 2010, 107, 97 home runs. Again, that was in the old bat era. Those last 3 years, you can see those home runs drop off. We are still waiting for Mississippi State to arrive at the podium there at TD Ameritrade Park following their 8-0 loss to UCLA. As soon as that begins, we will have it for you live here on ESPNU on our post-game coverage. Matt Schick along with former Arizona State assistant baseball coach Mike Rooney. And we heard word that they were watching film or something to that respect there, Mississippi State, before they get up to the podium. What kind of moment is this for Mississippi State? What are you saying as your head coach?
Well, it's a really emotional time. You're saying goodbye to your seniors and your juniors like Hunter Renfroe that you know are going to sign. The coaches, the underclassmen, maybe they're watching a highlight tape. I mean, this is the best season in school history for Mississippi State, and they have a lot to be proud of. It's an emotional time, and this is, again, a program that had Will Clark and Rafael Palmeira. These kids have a lot to be proud of.
This wasn't a Mississippi State program that was expected to do this before the season began. I mean, they're obviously a top 25 team, host a regional as well, but this is a top half SEC team, but they dropped a ton of series this season. Obviously, what they were able to do, a huge accomplishment for this Mississippi State program. Their best finish in any sport there in Starkville. We go out to TD Ameritrade Park. Live coverage. Here's head coach John Cohen.
Very, very good season. John, please give us an overview today.
First of all, I thought UCLA just played a great ball game, and we didn't. I'm really proud of our kids. I think what we did was we knocked on the door, and UCLA's knocked on the door before several times, and they knocked down the door, and we didn't do that. But really proud of our players. They worked incredibly hard to get here. Many of these guys came to Mississippi State in pretty adverse conditions. A program that was not in great condition. 5 years ago, we inherited a club that won 23 ball games, and they climbed all the way to the top, and we didn't finish the deal, and that's disappointing. But certainly, I'm proud of our players. I could break down the ball game, but it probably doesn't matter. Just needless to say that we're incredibly disappointed in today and yesterday, but obviously not in our body of work for the year.
Okay, let's open it up to questions. You know the routine. Dennis, we'll start with you.
Dennis Dodd, CBSSports.com. Hunter, you were, I think, of one of 3 players hit a home run in the College World Series. What did it feel like to absolutely crush the ball in the 8th inning and watch that thing die at the track?
I mean, it's pretty disappointing. I mean, you see Wes hit same thing earlier in innings. Just to see something like that happen, it's just very heartbreaking, I guess you want to say, because it's an opportunity to gain run, and this ballpark runs at a premium. And, I mean, other than that, I mean, just hitting balls hard anywhere, in the ballpark. It's just we hit balls all day, just hard, and just right at people. We couldn't help that. I mean, it's just the way the game went.
Okay, right here.
Brad Locke, Daily Journal. Adam, can you just kind of give me your thoughts on the UCLA pitching these 2 days? They really seem to kind of have y'all hitting the pitches they wanted you to.
Yeah, they did a good job changing speeds, moving up and down the zone, and we weren't very disciplined at the plate like we had been, I guess, throughout the World Series, and just hats off to them for getting the job done and just winning 2 games for the national championship.
Okay, Mike.
Mike Bonner, Clarion Ledger. Adam, I think it was the 8th inning or 7th inning, whatever inning it was, you struck out and kind of walked back to the dugout slowly. First strikeout of the postseason. What's going through your mind at that point?
And a lot of frustration, swinging at bad pitches, and also not getting that run in from third and knowing how big that run is at that time. Really all I had to do is put a ball on the ground and beat it out to first, and we scored a run there, and just a lot of frustration mainly.
Another question, guys. Keep asking. Mike again.
Kendall, I saw you after the game walking back and forth in front of the dugout, the only player kind of away from the dugout. What's kind of going through your mind at that point? Obviously, your final game with MSU.
All right. First off, I'd like to thank the Lord for getting us team here, and it was His will that we got here. I'd like to thank Scott Strickland for what he's done for our program, Coach Cohen, all the coaches, staff, everybody that's involved. I'd like to thank Omaha for welcoming us and being, supportive of us and being, I guess, open arms to this team. But going through my mind, I mean, it's been a great run, like Coach said. We're disappointed with the outcome, but we've done something this week that no Mississippi State team's ever done. And I think that's the biggest thing that was really going through my mind. It kind of set in that this is over.
Okay.
Hunter, just your thoughts on your career here. I know soon you have to turn your attention to pro ball, but what will you really take away from your 3 years here?
I mean, you can't ask for anything better than what we've had here at Mississippi State. The fans here, I mean, you see the turnout every game that we had here. I mean, it's just amazing, the people in Starkville, and we're truly blessed to have the fan support that we've had. And to my career here, I couldn't ask for a better junior year and a better team to do it with. The team that we've been a part of is probably the closest team I've ever been part of. And to the coaches, I mean, they've been supportive. They've been helping. I couldn't ask for anybody better than Coach Cohen and all the other coaches, and I'm sure these guys would say the same thing.
Okay, right.
Matt Stevens, Commercial Dispatch for Hunter and Adam. Just talk about the run you guys made. You've made it further than any other MSU team's ever made it, and did you kind of put the stamp on the program that you guys wanted to at the start of the year?
Adam, why don't you start, please?
I guess we had a little bit of a stamp, but we didn't finish the way we wanted to or expected to, so I guess not completely. We made the run we were expecting we were going to make, and I guess pretty disappointed about the end of it. But we really came together in the fall, and we just carried it all the way through. And I'm proud to say everyone on the team called him my brother, and it's definitely one of the closest teams, or the closest team I've ever been a part of. And the only way it could have been better was to win this thing. And I've never been a part of a game where the other team's dogpile on the field, and so it sucks pretty bad. But I'd like to thank our fans for the support. Also, feel bad for letting them down, and pretty disappointed ourselves for letting that happen. But they couldn't have supported us any better, and I appreciate everything they've done for us, and the coaches have done for us, and Mr. Strickland and everybody else associated with this program. It's been a fun ride.
Hunter?
What was the question?
Did you put your stamp on the program the way you wanted to at the beginning of the year?
Absolutely, I think so. I mean, like Fraser said, we were disappointed with the end result of it, but hats off to UCLA, and they have a great program there. To beat us like they did today, to do what they did to our pitching staff. I mean, we have one of the best pitching staffs in the nation to me. Kendall and other guys, I mean, they've done outstanding through the whole year. Us hitters, me and Frazier and all the rest of us, we didn't do what we were supposed to do. We hit balls hard, but we didn't find gas. We didn't put up run support like we should have and help the pitchers out. So, I mean, yes, it's disappointing, but to look back and what we've done, it's great.
Okay. Mike again.
Kendall, I guess maybe the same question that Matt said. I know you came back for your senior year. One of the goals were to get to Omaha in the finals. Just what's going to stand out about this season for you?
Right, it's something I'll never forget. One reason for not winning, but another reason to get here. I'll never forget that. I think as far as Mississippi State goes, they'll be back. Coach Cohen's doing the right things. This coaching staff's got this team going in the right direction. There'll be some new faces next year, but I have complete trust that Coach Cohen will get them where they need to be again. And just like UCLA was here a couple years ago, I got a feeling this team will be back sometime in the future.
Okay, Brett.
We address John now
Sure.
as well? Okay.
Yeah.
John.
They're all open.
John, I know when you were hired 5 years ago, you said one of the big goals was Omaha, but that Omaha would not be enough. But can you put into words what it means for the program just to get this far?
Hey, not to correct you, Brad, but I said at our press conference we're going to win a national championship, which, my wife flinched on several times. She doesn't like it when I talk about that, but that's why we do it, is to win the whole thing. And I really appreciate all the comments about taking this, this team going further than any other has. But what they've done is laid some foundation for some future teams, because we're going to come back here and we're going to win this thing. That's what we're here to do. That's why I came to Mississippi State, and we're gonna keep knocking that door down.
Okay, any more questions? Yep. Matt?
John, you said it would take about 6 months for you to kind of go over what has all happened in this run. But when you evaluate this last series and clearly didn't play as well as you want, how long is that going to eat at you before next season starts? Or?
Well, it bothers me that we didn't play well the last 2 days. But, I feel like we played 15 postseason games, I think. 15 postseason games, and I feel like we didn't play well in 2 of them. And, that is disappointing, but I will always have a special spot in my heart for this group of kids, because everything they were doing was new to them. What the younger guys have in our program right now is they have the tracks. They have a foundation that's been laid for them by these guys, and we'll always be appreciative of that. But I really... it's hard to explain what these kids have done for this program. I'll just give you one quick example that nobody really in this room knows about. We had every single kid before our season, every one of our players before the season, believe it or not, do a presentation, a 3 to 5 minute presentation. Anything they want about our team, anything about our goals, anything they wanted to, anything. And Adam Frazier did a PowerPoint. Can you believe it, a PowerPoint? That's shocking, isn't it? But he did a PowerPoint about this stadium. He had slides of pictures of this stadium, and he said, when we get there, I don't want it to be new to us. We will have already seen the dugouts. We will have already seen the locker rooms. We will have already seen the playing surface, the stands. How can you not be moved by that? Because everything he did in that PowerPoint and all the things that our kids did in their PowerPoints and their presentations really came to fruition. And it's pretty remarkable when you get 35, 18 to 22-year-olds and everything they talk about almost come within an eyelash of coming true. So this group's special, and what they've done is they've really helped the future of our program.
We have one more question, if anybody. Guys, there are about 290 schools that wishes they were in your position. And there are about 17,000 people out there that know you're champions too. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
John, good luck to you.
There's Mississippi State, the best finish in program history for any program there on campus in Starkville. Those are the Bulldogs. We'll hear from the champion Bruins coming up when they take the podium here in our postgame coverage on ESPN.
It's a great night for baseball here in Omaha. Fastball smoked down the right field line and caught at the wall. Fulia. Holy cow, what a catch. On the ground, back to Byrne. It's over. UCLA has won the opening game of the College World Series Finals. Line fair down into the right field wall. And another run will score. And a runner at second for UCLA. It's 3-0. Chopper back up the middle and through into center field. And again, UCLA executes perfectly. And the Bruins have done it. They win their first ever national championship in baseball and number 109 overall.
Well, some notable UCLA alumni weighing in via Twitter. There's Reggie Miller, former Bruin and Pacer great. Go Bruins, go Bruins, go Bruins. Number 109, referencing the 109th championship in school history. There's Troy Aikman, Hall of Fame quarterback. Congratulations, UCLA baseball, on our first national championship in baseball in school history. Made all UCLA on the alumni proud. And then Trevor Bauer of the Cleveland Indians. You got to love the Twitter handle there, Rooney.
I love that. Bauer out.
Bauer out. Book it. National champs for UCLA baseball. You wonder what Trevor Bauer's thinking, too. Remember, he was the guy who didn't get a chance to pitch in the championship series against South Carolina back in 2010. He was set to go in Game 3. It was a 2-game sweep.
Well, and again, sometimes it's how your pitching sets up in a situation like this. And, you know, John Savage took over this program in 2005. They went 4-20 in the Pac-10 that year. It was the Pac-10 back then. Had 14 wins and over 40 losses. And you just look at the progression over the 9 years. It's not just the national title, an amazing accomplishment. This is a program that's gone to Omaha 3 out of the last 4 years.
3 out of the last 4 years in a sport really built with some parity now, especially with those bats. Pretty remarkable for UCLA to do that. We will hear from the champion Bruins at TD Ameritrade Park as they take the podium. But in the meantime, here's how the Bruins got to their first championship in baseball history, in their program history. There's Game 2, and there's Luis Poirena getting the start for Mississippi State. Bo Pelini got in with a press badge. He's a fan of defense as Nebraska's football coach, and didn't see much here early on. There's Poyarena bobbling it. Wes Ray can't handle it. 2 errors on the play. Kevin Kramer with that nice bunt. It was after a hit by pitch, so first and third, no outs. Eric Filia, and there you go. It's 1-0.
No hits. They score. They don't need hits to score. It's amazing.
That's it. Hit by pitch, an error, sack, and there you go. It's 1-0. Third inning, after a walk and a single, there's Filia again. The squeeze to score a run. You can see it coming a mile away. It's 2-0 UCLA, and then the next batter, Pat Valleca. These are the guys that have to step up, and they certainly did tonight.
Well, it's your 3-hole hitter willing to safety squeeze. Your 4-hole hitter's a shortstop who's not a power guy but just knows how to hit, knows how to play, and that's how they draw it up.
Why was a 3-run differential so important? No team in this year's College World Series had overcome a 3-run deficit. Wes Ray trying to do it on one swing. He doesn't. It wasn't even close. Maybe in another park, maybe in another city, maybe at the old Rosenblatt. That is gone, but not there. And then top 4. It's the next batter. C.T. Bradford flies it out, and Vandertag out of the jam. Bottom 4. UCLA up 3-0 still after a hit by pitch and the sack. But there's Cody Regis, RBI single.
And ground balls are your friend at TD Ameritrade. This stadium is still undefeated.
So it's 4-0. Another jam for UCLA. Watch how they get out of this one with no outs. 2 on. There's Kevin Kramer with the flip to second, and then Adam Frazier next up. Runners on the corners, 1 out. He was their table setter. He just couldn't get it going in this championship series. He strikes out, and then Vandertag wicked stuff to death.
The bigger the situation, the bigger pitches the UCLA pitchers made.
Bottom 6, still 5-0. There's 2 outs. And UCLA just did what Mississippi State could not do. Runners in scoring position, 2 outs, clutch hit, they do it.
And never a fly ball. Everything was a line drive. They were above the baseball the entire series.
That was Eric Filia there with the RBI single. It's 6-0, bases loaded, bottom 8. Filia again. 2-run single, 5 driven in the game, 7 in the 2-game series with Mississippi State. And then the last play here, grounded to first, the flip to Berg. Throw that mitt down and throw your hands up in the air, everybody. UCLA, your 2013 NCAA champs. There is the dog pile, and there's the podium. There's head coach John Savage.
Whenever you play for a national championship and you lose, we've been there. It's a pretty empty feeling, and it shouldn't be, but it is. And, you know, I want to congratulate Coach Cohen and his staff for a great season. So proud of our program, players, coaches. This is for the UCLA baseball family. Coach Adams, Coach Reichel, Dan Guerrero, all the people that have been meaningful to this program for many, many years, certainly before I got there. And it's an honor and a privilege to be the coach at UCLA. And I'm just so proud. These guys did it on the field. I don't think any of the experts thought we'd be here at this stage, and we did it. We did it the right way. We played baseball, and good baseball, and we pitched. We defended. We had quality offense, opportunistic offense for sure. And at the end of the day, I think we outlasted everybody. So congratulations to our players and their families and everybody associated with UCLA baseball. Thank you.
Okay, let's open up for questions for those of you that have snuck in. Okay, Lou, here Lou in the back. I think he beat you to it, Aaron.
Yeah, Lou Pavlovich, Collegiate Baseball. It's for Coach Savage. You probably went through the toughest gauntlet of teams I've ever seen in my life, from Fullerton all the way through. Can you comment on that? Because you didn't have a weak sister in the bunch.
No, that's why I think you can call us champions. It was a tough road. We had a very difficult Pac-12 conference. We finished third behind Oregon and Oregon State, 2 very good teams. We had a very difficult regional with Cal Poly, San Diego, and San Diego State. Tight games, 5-3, 6-4, 6-0. And then we went to Fullerton, who I thought was the best team in the country. And to our credit, we played them, and we played them tough, and we came out of that with 2 wins. So I think that was an indicator. I think a lot of people saw that and knew how difficult that was. And there was, I think, some telling signs that this team was going to be pretty tough to beat. And to make the run that we did, I think it's one of the best runs, clearly in the history of UCLA baseball, and really, for a single season on the West Coast.
Hey, Aaron.
Aaron Fitt, Baseball America. Nick, it's kind of a lot like, I guess, what you did all season long. I mean, didn't seem like you did anything different, but you've pitched in so many big games over the course of your career. Do you feel like all that experience kind of helped prepare you for this moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think all the experience I've had throughout my 3 years in college have, really helped me. And I think how many wins this program has had and the opportunities we've had, and I think that's really what's gotten me to where I am. And just trying to keep things simple, just trying not to think, oh, this is a big game. Every game's just like every other game. Just have to be myself and make pitches and execute.
Okay, Pete.
Pete LaFleur, College Baseball 360. Coach, I know you mentioned, I heard you with the quote that nobody on your team, you don't have anyone on your team who doesn't play good defense, but I would think you don't have anyone on your team either that doesn't execute situational hitting, whether it be the sac bunt or just driving the ball to get the sac fly. Can you just tell us how you develop that, and maybe give us some examples of how you bring that out of your team? And then, Eric, if you could speak to that for yourself, because you did both today, and you also got some RBI hits over the last few days.
Good job.
Practice. I mean, that's what we do. We're a good. I call ourselves a good practice team. For us to play good in the games, you have to do it in practice, and you have to do it in front of the coaches. We work hard, conditioning, weights, practice. We got better. We got better in this tournament, and that was one of our goals, is to get better. With our time off, we had practices. We made the most of Saturday and Sunday, and I just can't say enough about the guys to my right, because they've earned it, and people didn't believe in them. They didn't think they were the best team, and I don't think reason why you would think that. We lost 17 games, but we also won 49, and it just Coach Peters, Coach Bruce, Coach Silverman all did a terrific job. It was a team effort. We had no star power. I think we have a few stars, but Adam Plutko, Nick Vandertyg, Pat Valleca, in my mind, are some of the best players ever to play at UCLA, and they proved it on the field. So